In one of my counseling sessions, one person told me this. He asked, "My anger is quite aggressive. It emerges without my awareness. Only after the anger subsides do I realize it. How can I manage my anger in a way that once I get triggered, I'm aware of it and take control of myself?" It's a great question, and this challenge affects all of us. While watching this video, pay particular attention to the silence when I am not speaking. During that time, hear the silence. Hear the silence. Now, anger typically arises when interacting with people or situations, and most situations involve people. Our anger mostly erupts in two situations. First, we get triggered on a personal level by our family. In second situation, we get triggered professionally due to our work or the people involved. So we will first see how to heal our anger by interacting with our family. First and foremost, be present in your life during ordinary situations, not just when dealing with challenges from others. In day-to-day life, keep 80% of your attention within you. Give only 20% attention to the world. What I mean is keep 80% attention within your inner chest. Let your mind's attention anchored within your being. By doing this, you will become more present. And it becomes easier to observe your anger once you are triggered. So be present when you are with your family. When your children triggers you, just take one conscious breath and feel that what if they will not be there tomorrow? Or what if you are not there tomorrow? It's not a negative thought, but this is the law of impermanence of the universe. We all are impermanent. We are awareness and not a mind-body instrument. This practice will immediately make you present. Then you will feel their beingness when you connect with your beingness. Avoid labeling your children's actions and simply observe with a state of focused attention. Maybe you embrace or hug them for a minute. Do that with your spouse too. See how it will transform them and yourself. Again, keep at least minimum 50% attention inside you, or if possible, 80% attention. Give 20% of attention to the outside activity. This way, your mind will rest in being that is God itself. The inner power that is more powerful than your mind will take care of all your outer tasks. This practice allows presence to emerge more and more through you. It's important to note that you may not catch your ego's anger in the moment. But as your presence grows, the time between anger arising and your realization that you are angry will shorten. You will eventually reach a point where you realize your anger a few seconds after it happened. This awareness allows you to be more in control, even if you can't stop it instantly. The awareness that my mind is angry, that awareness that my mind is angry is very powerful. The suppressed energy, primarily characterized by anger, is closely related to the ego. When you recognize this suppressed energy within you, it dissolves and becomes awareness. The ego can only operate when you are unconscious of its patterns. As your presence grows, you will notice your anger episodes and dissolve it more quickly. Once you surrender your mind to inner being, you will develop a silent, powerful choice to engage differently when anger arises in you, rather than reacting unconsciously. This progress results from keeping your mind in being and inviting presence into your life during everyday situations. The other practice you can do is just be present in nature and without the filter of naming nature, and allow nature to teach you stillness. Remove the mental labels of naming it. For example, this is a rose flower, an oak tree, or a peacock. Be fully present when observing nature to deepen your connection to it. Nature appreciates your attention and recognizes itself through your awareness. Have you ever realized that when you look at a tree and label it as an oak tree or a mango tree, your knowledge of its botanical name has so deeply influenced your perception that it acts as a barrier to fully experiencing that tree? To genuinely connect with the tree, you need to touch it. And the mere words won't assist you in making that physical touch. Being in nature without naming it cultivates a more significant presence in your life, and that presence is readily available to help manage your anger when your anger arises. Now, how to manage your anger when you involve professionally? You see, you get triggered on the professional front if you don't like your work. In other case, you love your work, but your ego don't like the people you're working with, meaning your colleagues, your bosses, or your customers. In first case, when you don't like your work, but you have to work because you have family commitments, simply change how you do what you do. Meaning how you do what you do is always more important than what you do. It simply involves being more conscious of doing your work. Fully accept your work. Once you fully accept your work, the joy of your being will flow in your work. and then you will be inspired and enthusiastic to do the work. Simply change how you do what you do. Now let's say you hate your work. In that case, find something else, as the profession is not the right profession to emanate your consciousness. Meaning, slowly and steadily, keeping your mind surrendered to your being, find a new work that resonates with your being. How about when you love your work but get triggered or angered by your colleagues, bosses, and customers? Again, in this case, you need to bring full acceptance of your colleagues, bosses, and customers. It's that simple. You need to bring willingness. You are a volunteer, and volunteering implies doing something willingly, without external pressure. When you willingly participate in an activity, it's a fundamental source of joy. Even the simplest task, when done willingly, can bring immense satisfaction. The distinction between heaven and hell lies in this very willingness. When you engage willingly, you experience joy. When you act unwillingly, you are in a state of suffering. You need to be a very conscious participant in life. Do it willingly by connecting to your being. Accepting your colleagues, bosses, and customers is important in this case. Approach your work with enthusiasm like a volunteer. Volunteering means doing things because you want to, not because you have to. When you do your task by being conscious, it can make you very happy, even the simple ones. Again, the difference between heaven and hell depends on how willingly you approach your work. Be fully aware and present while doing your work. Doing something willingly is doing something without your mind willpower. Remember this. Doing something with willingness means let the divine will operate through you by connecting with inner being. So when you do something with willingness, a divine power will operate through you. Are you compelled to watch my video, or you are watching it willingly? Willingly, right? Thanks for your willingness. So willingness is like volunteering. Volunteering is doing things willingly without external pressures, no matter if they are financial or social. Willingness is the core of your joy. Regardless, the task is complex or simple, do it willingly. It's essential to understand that people aren't inherently good or bad. Your colleagues, your bosses, your customers are not inherently good or bad. People can shift between different states of being based on their environment. If you create joyful atmosphere for them, people will be kind. If you create an unpleasant atmosphere, people can be rude or angry. The key difference between heaven and hell is whether you act willingly or unwillingly. Are you acting from unconsciousness or consciousness? Labeling people as good or bad is problematic. We should create joyful environments that encourage positive behavior instead of passing judgment or potentially causing harm. Volunteering in your profession means being entirely willing, offering your life with no personal agenda. It's a state of complete acceptance. You are in control of your inner state, freeing yourself from external influences. Your state of consciousness is the primary purpose of your life. Remember this. And once you commit to raising your consciousness by accessing your inner being, you will never get angry or triggered by people unconsciously. Thank you.